What if I told you that your pain was the key to your power? That every betrayal, every failure, every lonely night you've ever endured wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The world wants you weak. It wants you reactive, emotional, easily controlled. But what if you could become unshakable? A force no storm can bend, no failure can fracture. What if you could walk through fire and not just survive, but smile? This is the story of a man who was broken until he realized he was never meant to be soft. Beaten down by life, abandoned by people he once trusted, haunted by doubt. He looked in the mirror one night and saw a stranger staring back. But what rose from the ashes wasn't just a man. It was a weapon forged in silence, solitude, and absolute mental discipline. This isn't just about stoicism. This is about mastering yourself so completely that the world no longer has power over you. It's about using the shadows inside you, not running from them. It's about becoming so grounded, so detached, so controlled that nothing and no one can touch your peace. This is the Stoic art of resilience. Welcome to Ignavos. Let's begin. If you are done letting the world push you around, if you're ready to walk into your power, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am a warrior. Embrace the fall. Pain is the portal. He lost everything. The job, the woman, the reputation. It all came crashing down in a single, merciless season. Most people would have curled up and called it fate, but real Stoics, they understand something deeper. Pain isn't a punishment, it's a portal. That night, as he lay awake staring at the ceiling, something inside him broke. But what broke wasn't weakness. It was the illusion that life should be easy. The Stoics called it amor fati, to love your fate. Not tolerate it, not endure it. Love it. Because when life burns your world to the ground, you're left with something sacred, a clean slate and raw truth. And from that place, you can build something no man can touch. He stopped asking, "Why me?" and started whispering, "Good." Fired? Good. Freedom. Heartbroken? Good. Now we sharpen. Alone? Good. Time to meet the real me. His pain became the teacher, and through it, he stepped into a new dimension of power. One where suffering didn't break him, it built him. If you are tired of running from the pain and ready to use it as fuel, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I rise through fire. Kill the need for control, detach from outcome. Control is an illusion. And the moment he realized that, everything changed. Before, he used to chase success, chase love, chase respect. He gripped life so tight it slipped through his fingers. But now, he lets go. Not out of weakness, but because he understands a deeper truth. Influence is real. Control is not. The Stoics taught that peace doesn't come from bending the world to your will. It comes from focusing only on what you can control, your actions, your words, your mindset. That's it. The outcome? Irrelevant. Want nothing. Attach to nothing. Expect nothing. Suddenly, life begins to move in your favor, not because you're forcing it, but because you're no longer repelling it with neediness. When he stopped caring about how things should turn out, people noticed. He was calm when others panicked, silent when others begged, detached when others clung. That's when the world started chasing him. Because detachment is power. Detachment is rare. And what's rare is irresistible. If you are done being a slave to outcomes, if you're ready to move through life like nothing owns you, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I control my mind, not the world. The enemy is within, mastering the inner critic. The real battle was never out there, not with other people, not with the world. The real war was inside his own mind, that voice. You know the one that whispers, "You're not enough." The one that screams when you fail, mocks when you try, and vanishes when you need courage the most. That voice had ruled him for years, until one day, he stopped listening. The Stoics taught that your mind is your kingdom, and if you let that voice rule, you are no king. He learned to observe it, not fight it, not argue with it, just watch. And in that stillness he realized that voice wasn't his enemy. It was his shadow, the part of him that feared change, that clung to comfort, that hated growth. But once he stopped giving it power, it lost its grip. Now, when the voice tells him he can't, he nods and does it anyway. When it says, "You'll fail," he smiles and says, "Watch me." Because true resilience isn't silencing the noise. It's walking straight through it like it isn't even there. If you're ready to face the only enemy that ever mattered, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I own my mind. You owe nothing, reclaiming power through indifference. For most of his life, he lived as a prisoner, not behind bars, but behind expectations, pleasing people, seeking approval, apologizing for simply existing. But then came the shift, the moment he realized he owed them nothing. Not his time, not his energy, not his soul. The chains fell off the second he stopped trying to be understood. Stoic indifference isn't cold, it's clarity. It's understanding that not every insult deserves a response, not every opinion needs defending, not every invitation deserves a yes. The world tries to sell you guilt, shame, obligation. But he stopped buying. He began moving with purpose, not permission. That's when they started saying, "He's changed. He's distant." He was just free. Because once you reclaim your attention, your presence becomes a gift, not a guarantee. Indifference isn't about not caring. It's about caring so deeply for your peace that you refuse to trade it for anyone else's comfort. If you are ready to stop apologizing for who you are and start living unapologetically, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I owe them nothing. Harness the darkness, use pain as fuel. They told him to stay positive, to let it go, but they didn't see what he saw. They didn't feel the weight in his chest, the fire behind his eyes. He wasn't going to bury the pain. He was going to use it. Because inside the rage, the shame, the heartbreak was power, raw, untamed, volcanic power, and he wasn't afraid of it anymore. The Stoics never ran from the dark. They walked into it and came out forged. The man he used to be feared his emotions. Now, he channels them. Anger became drive, regret became fuel, sadness became focus. He didn't suppress it, he alchemized it. Dark psychology teaches that your shadow holds everything you've been taught to reject. Intensity, dominance, control. But when you integrate it, when you stop pretending to be pure, you become unstoppable. Not cold, not cruel, but dangerous in the best possible way. Because a man who owns his darkness can never be manipulated by it. He doesn't lash out, he doesn't break down, he builds. And every scar becomes a brick in the fortress of his will. If you're ready to stop hiding your darkness and start harnessing it, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My pain is my power. The power of stillness, emotional control in chaos. There was a time when chaos controlled him. One bad text, one rude comment, one rejection, and he'd spiral, panic, lash out, crumble. But now, He just watches, calm, unbothered, unshaken, because he's mastered something most never even attempt: stillness. The Stoics weren't emotionless. They were immovable. They felt deeply, but they chose to respond, not react. That's the difference between weakness and power. One lives at the mercy of the world, the other masters it from within. He learned to slow time with his mind, to breathe before speaking, to pause before acting. And in that pause, he found total control. When the storm came, betrayal, loss, disrespect, he didn't flinch. They expected rage. He gave silence. They expected tears. He gave presence. The stiller he became, the more the chaos revealed itself, and the more he stood out. Because when everyone else is noisy, the quiet man becomes the one everyone listens to. Stillness isn't emptiness. It's power under pressure. It's a weapon. And now, he carries it everywhere. If you're ready to stop reacting and start ruling from within, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am still. I am power. Choose your cage. Discipline equals freedom. At first, he thought freedom meant doing whatever he wanted, sleeping in, skipping the grind, avoiding hard things. But that version of freedom left him weak, scattered, and hollow. It wasn't freedom. It was slavery to impulse. The turning point came when he chose his own cage. Not a prison, but a temple. A life built on discipline. The Stoics knew that real freedom is forged through routine, through restraint, through mastering the self. He started waking up before the world, training when he didn't feel like it, reading instead of scrolling, saying no when everything in him screamed yes. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't easy, but it was powerful. The more structure he created, the freer he became. He didn't need motivation. He had systems. He didn't rely on mood. He had rituals. And as the rest of the world drowned in distraction, he rose with clarity. He wasn't confined, he was focused. Because when you choose your cage, nothing else can trap you. If you're ready to build the life most won't, so you can live the life most can't, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My discipline is my liberation. Speak like a king, the power of measured words. He used to talk too much, explain too much, apologize too much. His words were everywhere and meant nothing. But the man who is becoming unshakable learns to speak like a king. Few words, heavy impact, because silence builds mystery, and mystery commands respect. The Stoics believed in restraint. Say less, mean more. He learned that every word is a transaction. You spend energy, you reveal your position, you open yourself to attack. But when you master the art of saying only what needs to be said, you become untouchable. Your voice gains gravity. Your presence becomes louder than your speech. Now, when he enters a room, people lean in. When he speaks, people listen. Not because he's loud, but because he's selective. He never argues with fools, never explains to those who don't want truth, never begs to be understood. His silence became his strength. His words became sharp, precise, and undeniable. People notice when you stop needing to be heard, and that's when they start hearing you. If you're ready to let your silence speak and your words strike, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. My silence is strength. Attraction. Through absence. The power of walking away. There was a time when he begged to stay, in rooms where he wasn't respected, in relationships where he wasn't valued, in situations that drained his soul. But not anymore. The unshakable man knows his worth, and he knows when to walk away. without anger, without drama, just quiet, clean, final. Absence is power. It creates space, space for others to reflect, space for energy to shift, space for you to rise. The weak chase, the strong move. And when you move in silence with detachment and certainty, your presence begins to haunt the places you leave behind. The Stoics mastered detachment because they understood this law. The more you cling, the more you push away. But when you let go, not with bitterness, but with calm indifference, you become unforgettable. He didn't need revenge. He didn't need closure. He didn't even need to be right. He just left and became a ghost they couldn't forget. Real attraction isn't in chasing. It's in walking away and never looking back. If you're ready to stop proving your value and start showing it through absence, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I walk away with power. The unshakable, becoming fireproof. Life didn't get easier. People didn't suddenly treat him better. The world didn't start playing fair. No, life kept throwing fire. But now, he was fireproof. Because the man who went through hell and refused to break, he doesn't just survive anymore. He invites the flames. Every lesson carved into his mind, every scar a reminder of what he overcame. He doesn't need approval, doesn't chase peace. It lives inside him now. He controls his reactions, owns his emotions, moves with purpose, not panic. When the storm comes, he's not shaken. He is the storm. This is what it means to be unshakable, not emotionless, but emotionally disciplined. Not detached from life, but untouchable by its chaos. The world can burn around him, and he will still move forward, slow, steady, unstoppable. That's the Stoic way, that's power, that's freedom. And now, that man can be you. If you are ready to become the fire, to be the calm in the storm, the one who bends for nothing, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I am unshakable. So now you know. The fire was never your enemy. It was your forge. You were never meant to be soft. You were meant to burn and rise. You don't need the world's permission. You don't need their love, their validation, or their applause. All you need is you, disciplined, detached, dangerous. This isn't the end. This is the beginning of the man they can't shake, can't break, can't touch. This is the path of stillness in chaos, of power in silence, of strength in solitude. Welcome to the few who understand. Welcome to the unshakable. This is Ignavus. Subscribe and walk the path with us.